こうぜ。
行こう行こ
もう想像もつかんわ。
う。絶対面白いよ。
Hey everybody, this is Erico and I am back again on your computer screens. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Why? Because you can watch this on whatever screen you want to. And you're watching this video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see me rant aimlessly about different topics pertaining to East Asian pop culture as well as other current events. So there's been a big move in Japanese cinema. Lots been going on with the box office. And Japanese people have been getting spoiled with all these different movies that have been coming out from the international side as well as in their home. And speaking of home movies, we have this long-awaited film by beloved animated creator Hayao Miyazaki, and it is called How You Live.
観客が公開を心待ちにしていたのが、宮崎駿監督最新作、君たちはどう生きるか。監督にとって風立ちぬ以来10年ぶりとなる作品で注目されていましたが、これまでに公開されたのは、こちらのポスタービジュアル。
So there's been a lot of speculation about this film because he has been talking about working on this film for years, and we've seen like little nitbits and snippets of him in his studio working. No one knew what this film was supposed to be, but out of nowhere, and I mean literally nowhere, we're talking like in the middle of the desert, nothing else there, no cactuses, no building, no nothing, nowhere. This movie drops, and there is nothing to signal what this film is supposed to be about. No trailers, no music video, no TV spots for commercials, no nothing. The only thing that Hayao Miyazaki gave the Japanese public was a simple poster. Now, there is another medium that this movie is based off of, and it's a novel. And there's also been like a manga based off of this novel, and it's supposed to be historical. I didn't, for the sake of not spoiling myself, look into the actual story, but I did look and see that there was actually like other facets of the story that is out there and that people somewhat know this story, but knowing Hayao Miyazaki and how he takes his certain artistic visions and creates his own takes on these stories is going to be very interesting. Talking about myself, I have a kind of weird mixed relationship with Miyazaki's films. We all know about Studio Ghibli and how they really were catapulted because of Hayao Miyazaki, and it made them a household name worldwide, and many people love Miyazaki's films. There isn't Studio Ghibli without Miyazaki's films, and people normally when they think of the studio think of Miyazaki. And so I stumbled upon his movies through friends of my parents, and that was Spirited Away, and it was instant love at first sight. I kid you not, I loved the movie to bits. So much so I had to go and get my own copy of it. This is back when it was VHS, you guys. We're talking 2001 because this is when this film was released. And this film would go on to have a huge following even to this day. It won an Oscar. It had many co-signs from Disney and Pixar, and many people were behind it. But Miyazaki was not really interested in the overall distribution of his films internationally. He was more interested in keeping his vision and making sure that the movie is good. And that also goes back to the no promotion policy that has happened with this film, because this is not the first film that Studio Ghibli has done this with. They also did it with Princess Mononoke, where only thing that was released was a poster. They did it with Spirited Away as well, where the public was forced to guess what this film was going to be about, and they go in blind, not knowing too much. Spirited Away is still Miyazaki's highest earning film, Princess Mononoke is second. And so there is this thing right now where this film has so much confidence behind it that nobody knows nothing. And it is doing very well at the box office. It currently has over 13 million tickets sold. It's doing very well. Many people have different opinions about it. There are lines for early morning showings, people taking pictures of the poster, and people are just overall excited because they're like, we haven't seen Miyazaki's work since 2013. And that was The Wind Rises. And back to me having a love-hate relationship with Miyazaki's films, there are a lot of films that are beloved by him that I feel are very middle ground, very mid, as a lot of people like to say. The Wind Rises. I can appreciate the artistic vision and the art and Miyazaki's message driving home about life lessons, and also all of his movies have such tremendous character growth that it's just always been amazing to me. But The Wind Rises was not a film that I really loved. Also, My Neighbor Totoro was another film as well that I was bored to tears, like, because people love this film. It is like a staple for Ghibli. And kids love this film. It's like a symbol. And I fell asleep on this film. Like, I did not like this film at all. But, I can appreciate it. I can appreciate people's love for this film. We also have Nausicaa as well. That was another one. My mother actually bought this film for me. And I didn't appreciate it when I was much younger. Then I tried to get back into it. You guys, I even went and purchased the manga that Miyazaki worked so hard on. Beautiful manga. Beautiful dedication to the overall details in the world. I could not get into it. It was not for me. Like, I tried. It was not. That wasn't it. Castle in the Sky as well. It just felt very mid. It felt very much like a story that's just like, this is Miyazaki. I can accept it. Do I love it? Would I watch it again? No. Kiki Delivery Service as well. And while there were elements in that movie that I really loved, and a lot of people love that movie, it has a huge female demographic, ending for me was just like, I want more from this. Please give me more. Spirited Away created such a bar for Miyazaki's films. And it's such a solid film. The character growth is amazing. The world building is amazing. For me, my top films of Miyazaki would be Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, also like Ponyo a lot. Those were films that were just fun films. My family, huge Miyazaki fam. Huge Miyazaki fan. We family. Huge Miyazaki fans. And they loved all these movies that I'm listing right now. It's just that he has films that, sometimes it's like a historical background to it. And sometimes it moves more into, I feel like, his vision, but it's not always super, super exciting. It's kind of like you take it as it is. I like movies that really grab me. And the films that I've mentioned really, really grabbed me. So there's also now this argument about what Studio Ghibli is going to do if this is actually Miyazaki's last film. Like, will they be able to survive? This studio has had other hits. And we also have to remember, not all of Miyazaki's films were like big, big, big hits. I mean, it's easy to roll this new movie out like it is because his name is on it. And also, let's be honest, there is still a little bit of promotion because they're marketing it as his last film. So that alone is gonna get people running in droves to go see this movie, no matter if they know anything about it, no matter if the runtime is like 2 hours and some minutes or not. You know, like people are want to go and see this film because they think this might be the last time. There are films by Studio Ghibli that are gems that I didn't even realize were by Studio Ghibli. One film, When Marnie Was There, beautiful film. It was nominated for Academy Award. It did not win, but I love it. Another film, family loves this film. It's such a good-spirited film. Another one from Up on Poppy Hill. This is a more slow-moving film, and I was just talking about like some films by Miyazaki I don't like because they don't grab me. This film, I had patience with it. There's some films that I have patience with it. If in the quiet subtleties of the detail in the plot somehow can grip me, I can sit and watch it. And this movie flows along. I really like these films, and they're films that are known. They're not as known as Miyazaki's films, but they're still films that hold a place in people's hearts. And I do think that Studio Ghibli, with their team and the good heads on their shoulders, that they will be able to continue to move along because Miyazaki's been MIA pretty much for years now. And finally, he's come back with this film. It's amazing because we have other really talented anime film creators that are right on his heels who, did tons of promotions. We have Demon Slayer, the movie, that I felt like could have been cut into episodes and not actually made into a movie. That's just my personal opinion. I know people said they love this movie, has a huge otaku fan base, huge fan base. People love this series. Watched it. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't blown away. I'm like, you could have cut this down into episodes. And what was really funny was that they eventually did. It didn't feel like an actual movie. It didn't give off the vibes of a movie to me. It gave off episodes that they just didn't edit. And they just put together into a movie. I'm just like, hey, people making money. People throwing their money at it, so what can I say? I mean, it's a good series, but Miyazaki is still existing in the midst of all of this, and he continues to be relevant and just being himself and having his own overall themes and morals and how he feels, so much so, even with his son and, being that harsh mediator on his son as well. I mean, I don't really care too much for his son's movies either, but, Miyazaki is definitely still out here doing it. I'm excited to see this movie. The movie's English name is The Boy and The Haron. So they changed it, so I guess it would make more sense. I saw that G-Kids ran and snatched this right on up. I'm surprised, like, Disney didn't try to have a hand in it and try to make it more of a bigger release. Especially since Miyazaki's films are very well loved. But I'll take it. But you guys, this is a lot to think about. How do you feel about all this? How do you feel about the no promotion policy and people going in the theater, only thing they get is a poster, and they get like a little poster and something in the cinema I saw. I was like, okay. Guess you all gonna have to take that. Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also have a blog in East Asian Pop Culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real. Stay real. Live in the real. And I will always be back. Thank you guys for watching this video. My feet have fallen asleep. I'm gonna get out of here. Ooh. Bye.